Hi, I think I'm live. Anybody with me today? Maybe. Now I'm live. Hi guys, how are you? You can hear Miss Millie having her conversation with nobody. Stop. But give me some hollers, give me some hearts, something. We are doing Handy Andy is the name of this block. It is block 8. So if someone can jump on here and let me know that we're good to go, that would be phenomenal. Hello, everybody. Okay. This is what you need. You need a darker purple or blue or whatever color, 2 5-inch squares, 1 3.5-inch square, 3 5.5-inch squares of a lavender or whatever color you want to use. And then a teal color, you need 2 5-inch squares, 1 5.25-inch square, and 2 3-inch squares. I'll leave it there a couple more minutes. Let's see if I move it this way. Hopefully you guys can all read that. Okay. Well, I just found out that I apparently didn't pay attention to my friend Melissa. She is back at her job. She's considered essential again. Hopefully everybody stays healthy there, including her. I made this block in a different color scheme other than the purple and teal, and of course I was on the phone with a new customer, so I don't have it in front of me, so bear with me a second. I'm going to get rid of this sweater because there's a little dog underneath it that won't give up. I'll be right back. I'm going to go grab my other block. And I'm going to grab my Bargello. This is the Bargello that, excuse me, I want to teach on Zoom. We're trying to get that set up right now, but you can see how pretty this is. This is a big table runner. It's like 18 by 60, so it's really a big table runner. But that's the class I want to teach on Zoom, and it should be coming up here, I think, in the next week. This is the Handy Andy block. This is the first one. Try to figure out how to do this. First one I made. And I just did this one. Again, everything I'm doing is just from my scraps. So, guys, get on here and let me know that you're getting this. That would be awesome. Hi, Brianne. The Bargellos are so easy. You'd be amazed how simple that Bargello is to do. If you're getting into a bigger one, there's a ways to do it, doing what I'm going to teach for the table runner. So watch for the Zoom sign up thing for that, because that one is going to be separate from the Facebook Lives. So this is partially finished of my lavender, teal, purple Handy Andy block. This one is pretty much all triangles we're going to use. So with this, you take your square, the 3.5 inch square, and you're going to add the triangles around it. And you do this by cutting your square, your 3.5 inch. Okay, you're going to take 2 of your teal 3-inch squares, and you're going to cut them like a big X from corner to corner to corner to corner. Then you're going to take those triangles and you're going to sew them on to the ends of your 3.5 inch center square. Okay, then we trim them off. Get rid of your dog ears. See, I left the dog ear on this one on purpose because I wanted to show you guys. There's a dog ear that is still, I don't like my camera there. I might have to move that. So you're going to treat them a little bit like flying geese, but they're not completely flying geese. So you'll square this center one up to 4.5 inches. Then you're going to take your lavenders that are 5.25 inch, and you're going to cut them diagonally, and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to sew them around the teal square. Go ahead and trim them up. I believe it's 6.5 inches. Then you're going to take your teal squares, which I think there's two 5-inch teal squares, and you're going to cut those again. Just cut them once diagonally. I'm sorry, I'm really confusing people. And then, so these two are part of a 5-inch square that was cut diagonal, and so are these two. And again, you're going to sew them around this one, and now you're going to have an 8.5 inch square. I then have you press open. No, actually not yet. Now we're going to do the only part of this quilt that is confusing to people, and that's this block. Okay? That block is one of these and 2 of the lavender. Okay, so you're going to take your teal, I think this is the 5.5 inch one now, and double check, hang on. Where did all my stuff go? Oh, here we go. This is your teal, is your 1 5.25 inch one. And then you're going to take 2 of your lavender 5.5 inch squares. No. Yes. 2. And you'll cut those so that you get this little block. I took pictures yesterday so you can kind of see what this block is going to look like. It's not what you would expect it to be, which is why it's fun. So now I'm going to move my camera. Welcome to my reality show here. It means that it's a mess. Oh, look, you can see my boobs really well. Okay, so you want to lay these out so that you have a straight line up here. Okay? And you do that with the triangle this way. So your triangles are going to point, your teal triangle is going to point to where your block ended. So it's going to be right in between the other 2 teals, so that one will be like that. Okay, if that's confusing, let me know, but that's basically what you're going to do, is this, and make sure this is pointed the right way. And the reason you set it up course, you gotta have right sides up. This way is so that you have a straight line to sew onto your block. So you're gonna treat this like a flying geese, where you want it to overlap at the top piece. So you put this over it like that, put it on your sewing machine. I always run on a scant 1/4 inch. And you're going to stitch that 1/4 inch. Now, I'm going to tell you a secret with this block. Press, 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 press. Press your fabric before, press your fabric after. Okay, and you can see I'm a little bit over here, which is what I want to be. And I really should take this to the iron, but we're going to do this for the sake of the camera today. And you're going to put this back, this one on here, so it goes the other way. And that it crisscrosses at the top. Okay, and then you go ahead and sew your 1/4 inch seam again. Here we go. Thankfully my machine is quiet. Alright. Okay, so now this is what you have. Okay? And you are going to simply trim or snip off these points. Don't worry about making this perfectly flat, because you're going to make this fit your block. Okay? So I just grab little scissors and I just trim these little dog ears off. Okay? And then you take your block. And remember I said that point is going to be right in the middle. So I've been finding the middle, like so, and kind of creasing it so I've got a good crease. All right, and then I'll do the same here. And I'm not paying attention really out here. Oops, I'm not paying attention really out here. I'm just making sure this teal triangle is right. I get the middle of it. Okay, so now I am going to take this and put the good sides towards it, each other. I am going to line up those the best I can, and then I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch seam again. So. Okay. Now, again, I don't pin because I think it gets in my way, so I'm just going to double check before I get to the center that I am still in the center. And that's, when you're dealing with triangles, you're dealing with the bias edges of your fabric, so that always makes it an interesting game to play. Alright, so you just finish that up. Sewing machine is pushing the camera, so I apologize. Okay. So then you end up with it like this. And I'm a little off, but for argument's sake, we're going to be pretty good here. But that's the fun. You just got to keep adjusting this top piece until you get it right if you want to. And then you open up this and you press this open. Press this seam allowance open. Because otherwise you're going to have so much bulk here that you're not going to be able to iron this, or excuse me, press this so it's flat. And you know there's a difference between ironing and pressing. And I know I'm probably just talking to one person right now, but you press this way, then you slowly move it. You don't press by pulling and flattening, and you don't drag your iron back and forth. You drop it, and then you just slowly move it down that seam. Then flip this back over when you do that. And then you take your iron and you press here. Don't iron and push it and drag it, because all of these edges are biased. And every one of them is going to stretch and make your quilt funky, odd shaped. I am probably going to take this one off and redo it a little bit so that I can shift it this way a little more. But this is a game of trying to find your centers. You can see the rest of them. I was pretty successful on what I did. It's just the one I just did, of course, because I'm doing it for live, and that's how life works. So, knowing I'm probably going to take that one off, you're going to take your other dark 5 1/4 inch, and you're going to cut it into 4s. So you end up with little triangles like this one. And as you can see, this block is more of an octagon shape. So you want to make it a square shape. And to do that, you need to put triangles, add triangles to the 4 corners, like so. Let me see if I can move this a little more. Instead of trying to put here, if I put this up here, maybe that'll work better. There we go. All of this. You think I would learn some of this by now? No, too much. Anyway, let's do it this way. So these triangles are going to go where the lavender is, so that you create a square out of this octagon shape, if it makes sense. So to do so, you're going to put them over here, and again, find your middle. Make sure your point is all lined up with your points. And I'm going to eyeball this one right now, and it's not. There we go. And in this case, when I get this to, let's bring this back down. When I get this to line up here, so that this point is going right down the center and across, I have more on one side of an overhang than the other, which is fine, because we're going to trim that all up at a later point anyway. Woo, camera fell. Okay. Ooh, I have nice big arms. See that? Muscles. Anyway, so then you have this on the end. So you can see when I put another one over here, I'm going to have a nice square. Oh, some days. This worked so nice on the Zoom, but when I get to Facebook Live, it does weird things. So this is now going to make it a square. And we're not going to trim any of these until we are done completely. Because then I want you, not everybody's perfect. We don't always have exact squares. These right now should roughly be 12.5 inches squared, all of your blocks. But we're going to find your smallest one, and we're going to make them all the same size before we start working on the rest of the quilt. It's just easier that way, because I know some people's 1/4 inch is a little bit bigger than my scant 1/4 inch, and somebody else's is going to be different also. But, so you're just going to keep adding these little triangles to the edges, and I'll do one more, because like I said, I need to take that other one off and fix it, because it's not where I want it to be. And again, I'm lining up this triangle so all those points line up. So there's that. I'll move this back down here. And we're going to try and sew this again. I'll put this over here. There we go. Oops. Make sure I didn't move anything, and commence sewing. Go. And then you'd take this to your iron and you would press these both back so they stay nice and straight. You know, you always want to put your iron on the back to seal your stitches in. I'm going to lift this up so you can see. Let's see, how's that? So now you can see how we're going to end up with a straight line, and that's going to be all the way around the block. So this is like building a square on a square on a square, and to get the finished block. And even what I put on today, it's off, but it's not off dramatic. No one would probably even notice that except me. So I'm probably going to go ahead and take that off and put it back on the right way. And here's the other block that I did earlier. Let me put it down here. And you can kind of see, let's see if I can get up high enough. There we go. You can kind of see how this all goes together. It's a pretty decent block. Oh, look, you get to see my key pants. And it's pretty. And it's not too difficult. There's just that one little place. So how did you guys all do on that really difficult block that I had up there? Give me some hints or ideas. And is everybody still cooped up? Like I said, I don't know why I didn't notice that Melissa told me she went back to work, but I didn't. So she's probably going to watch this later. And we've already got the slides together for the Bargello class. We just have to make a decision on when we're going to teach it, and hopefully get a few people to do it. So, anybody have any questions? You know how to find me, message me, email me, call me, send me a note on Messenger, send me a text messages. I pretty much answer all of them. And I guess with that note, I am going to let everybody go. And hopefully everybody enjoys this as much as I do. And stay in from the cold. Adios, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.